Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rumors of Heresy. My name is Zareth, and I've got another battle report for you today, using the Gladius Salamanders list that I've been using. Hopefully, we're going to be able to withstand the upcoming data slate changes, but we're facing Deathwatch, which I've never faced before. They are crazy, folks, so if you don't mind, please hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Let's mount the algorithm, shall we? We're almost to 1,000 subscribers, guys. That'd be an amazing milestone to get to. So here's my Salamanders Gladius list, folks. You can find the full version in the video description. And so I took out a Vindicator, added a Ballistus Dreadnought, which, I mean, it's fine. We're 40 points short now at this point, though, so I suppose we'll see what we can do. I want to add some infiltrators to it. That's why I wanted to try the Ballistus here. And yeah, the Storm Speeder has been a lot of fun. It's in progress right now. And actually, speaking of in progress right now, the Impulsor is actually done as well. I just want to throw a shout out to the guy who paints my army. This is, you'll find the link to his Instagram in the video description, and it's the Bear Frog Studio. He's doing commissions right now, and I think we're going to get a better graphic for it pretty soon, but he is doing a deal right now for a limited time where he'll paint whatever vehicle you want. Super heavies will be more expensive, but any vehicle you want for 50 bucks. And if you want, look at these. I mean, these are probably not like the very best photos anyways, but man, they look good. You'll be able to see them in the battle report as well. Go check them out, guys. 50 bucks for a vehicle painted this well is honestly such a good deal. Yeah, he's a fantastic artist, and you should go check him out, guys. Your army who's gonna look a lot better. It really will. Trust me. So, anyways, let's get to my opponent's list, shall we? He doesn't have any vehicles. He should use Bear Frog Studio if he does ever need them. So this is kind of a test detachment for him, a test game for him. Like, he's just trying to figure out what's good. So we wanted to use the Spectrus kill team, and you guys will see what it does. That's like what Deathwatch are just kind of an enigma to me. They basically have just a few different character or unit archetypes, and these kill teams, they just add a bunch of different characters from that archetype into it. So like they have a Gravis archetype, for instance, and that Gravis archetype, they're all wearing Gravis armor, but you can have like aggressors in there. You could have heavy intercessors. You can have other things that have Gravis armor in them. It's really interesting, actually. Yeah, heavy bolter guys. It's pretty scary, and you know, that's what the Indomitor kill teams are. And then they get a bunch of other awesome, really cool ammunition and buffs and all sorts of things. Fortis kill teams are guys in power armor, so you can have guys like with Hellblasters and all sorts of other things. You'll see. And so it just got a huge amount of troops, no vehicles whatsoever. He also took an apothecary on one of the squads, a captain in one of them, just so that he could get the free strat to be able to deep strike. Like he has uppy downy on these squads, and they're pretty good. The Phobos librarian is cool because he stops. He gives lone op to the squad that he's joined to, and he can join that Spectrus kill team. So I can't even shoot them outside of 12 inches, which is impressive. It's a pretty crazy. It's such a weird list, guys. I really wasn't prepared for it at all. So let's get into it, shall we? So here's our deployment, folks. There's a lot of infantry here, of course. You can see it's a big mess. You can tell that he's going to have these two squads do uppy as soon as he can at the end of my first turn, regardless. I guess I'll point out what squads he's got and everything. But my deployment, this is, I'm taking pictures from the opposite side of the table that I usually do, so that's going to be a little bit weird for all of us to get used to. I don't know if I should apologize or not. I suppose we'll see. You can let me know in the comments. So in reserves, I've got a lot of vehicles in this list, and a lot of them are in reserves. So in Strat Reserve, we've got Ballistus Dread ×2, and then we've got an Infernus Squad as well, and then a Storm Speeder Hammer Strike, and some jump pack intercessors as well in Deep Strike. And so you can see the idea here. I wanted to try putting the Impulsor with the Blade Guard in this little corner here. You guys can see the corner, but here I'll draw a green arrow to it. Anyways, you can see that like it's what the goal is. This thing's going to scoot out and go into this little corner here. That's the goal, just to be able to have a staging area. So we have scouts and incursors to kind of secure the staging area a little bit, and then the Impulsor, of course, is going to help reinforce it. Meanwhile, we have our Destructor, Predator Destructor over there, over here, and we're just trying to, expand into as many zones as we can. Of course, this is also the table quarters mission, so everything we're just trying to make it into, this is our table half. I know that we start with 1/4, but can we just agree that this is my half? And we're kind of ceding the other half to our opponents a little bit, but we're going to try to pressure them out of having any good landing spots for their deep strikes. So anyways, we've got the Spectrus kill team up in the top corner here, and you can't really see them, but there are 11 models here. That's the Phobos Librarian plus 10 Spectrus kill team guys, and then I've got the Fortis kill team. That's one of the squads that has a bunch of plasma in it. I think they have Hellblasters and a few other things. The Indomitor kill teams all have like a bunch of heavy bolters and a few flamers from the aggressors. The aggressor guys also have power fists. And so he's got a couple Fortis teams, 3 Indomitor kill teams, which those guys are really tough. They pack a huge punch, as you'll see. We've got intercessors, whole lot of infantry, not really anything else. He's got 10, and by 10 I mean 5, of course, Deathwatch Terminators that will also be deep striking. And so this is the deployment here, and I ended up having to go first once again, which is good practice, I suppose, and it does give us an opportunity to kind of pressure the board a little bit, but let's get into the game plan, shall we? Okay, so I wasn't sure exactly what they could do. The idea is, though, he can't deep strike from 6 inches away, and we want to push him off of that center objective. He doesn't have anything that's infiltrating or messing with our middle objective, which is good, because I don't, like, they've got a lot of strength in these units, but we can kind of play a little aggressively and keep him from landing on that objective at all, and unless he gets a really crazy charge roll, which I don't even think that would work, he can't really get into me as long as we stay an inch away from the board edge. We can also just he insisted that we are able to touch the objective from the inside the building and score, which I'm honestly fine with. I think that the missions state that we can't do it that way. I think it's supposed to be we have to hold it from outside of the building, but he wanted to play it with inside the building. I don't have any issue with that, and honestly it looks like that's what Games Workshop kind of intended when you look at the map. So one way or another, that's the idea, but he's not anywhere close to that objective, and if we can make it so that he can't land there and he can't charge me off of it even with a really good roll, then that's really good. So you guys can see the photo that I have taken here. This is actually after my first turn. We're trying to get into that into our different places and just try to push it up so that wherever he does choose to deep strike, it's going to be a little suboptimal. Okay, so turn 1, I get Extend Battle Lines, which is great. You just basically fall into that one. And Marked for Death, which is not great, but we kind of need CP anyway, so we're going to keep it. And so we're off to the races here, folks. So just this is our deployment, of course, and the idea is we want to make it tough for him to hold objectives. We need to make sure that this expansion objective of ours is easy to take. So we've got Vulkan, who's going to move here. It's going to take him a couple turns to get there, but Vulkan is going to hold it with 10 OC, and he's going to be able to support our objectives over on this side, down this line. Sometimes he can even venture off of the objective, but we do have our buddy up here, to our Combi-weapon lieutenant, to hold down the fort until then. And then I wanted to take an Impulsor here, and last time I tried it, I put it way down in the back and had to like move it up one, up a little bit, and it took 2 turns to get into this little nook. And so I wanted to see if I could get into that little nook in 1 turn, and you'll see it's kind of a disaster, actually. And then I decided to move my Predator here because this piece of terrain is line of sight blocking, and so the only thing that could shoot it would be something from way down here, and I was pretty sure the Indomitor team did not have the line of sight, or really the ability to shoot at them at all. I was pretty sure. I was wrong, but I thought that he has some melta-guns in there as well. Oh, I think, are they Eradicators? I think they are. Anyways, he's got some multi-meltas and meltas and all kinds of cool stuff in these squads, but if I move this guy here, then I'm pushing his deep strike out, and the idea is we just don't want him to be able to deep strike and hurt me. And if I have my Predator here, the only thing I thought he could land would be like stuff that's way in the middle, but then we also have scouts that were touching this objective, so 9 inches away is going to be a long ways, and I thought my Predator to be pretty safe. So we're just trying to get into an area right now where we have good line of sights to everything. This Predator is eventually going to be here, so that he can just shoot down the lane as well and support. Nothing too crazy here though. So let's see. That's exactly what I do, except I didn't roll a good advance roll on the Impulsor, so it's just kind of sitting there. It's got the blade guard in it. This is a proxy, by the way, if you couldn't tell. And so not the greatest result. I think I would rather have my Impulsor like come to right here instead of having its ass hanging out right here. So yeah, we've got the Predator, got this other Predator. Vulkan's moving up. The Infernus are moving in into the corner here. The Incursors are right here, blocking off the wall just 1 inch away, so he can't charge me through the wall. And the Scouts are 1 inch away from the wall, and everywhere, in every place except for one guy is touching the objective. So hopefully he can't mess with me. Get that close. And going first in this case it's not the very worst. Maybe it is. Who knows? So he gets cleanse and no prisoners. So I mean that this is the board state beforehand, and you'll see that he completely stopped my expectations. So yeah, he blew up the Predator, and I'll show you guys how here. So first off, he did uppy downy, because he went second, so that means he can do it on first turn. So we picked up an Indomitor squad and an Invictus squad. I don't remember what they're called, guys. Don't ask me. But these are the guys with the Gravis armor, and so we actually landed a few of them up on the top level of this building so that they could see the Predator, which I thought was pretty clever, because otherwise he couldn't really get anywhere that he could see the Predator, at least on this side of the board. So yeah, I hadn't really thought of that. He could get in the building. So he's got his melta guns and multi-meltas and all that stuff up here. And then this squad also, so this squad shot, and I had cover, and I popped Armor of Contempt, and I survived. Yay for survival, right? But the thing I wasn't counting on was this squad down here. could use a different type of round that gives him 42 inches of range, and so his heavy bolters shot and finished off the Predator. And those heavy bolters do they're AP2 with 3 damage each. They are serious. They're serious business. And that poor hapless Predator just got destructed. So goodbye to that. And then the squad that was up here up top, they also had some heavy bolters that were able to shoot the Impulsor a little bit. Took 5 damage off, because their normal bolters do 2 damage each as well in their AP2. So yeah, the poor little Impulsor who couldn't make his saves, and he didn't die, but gosh, I just didn't think he would have that kind of range. So otherwise he did cleanse on one objective. He didn't get onto this objective, so gonna score on turn 1 at least. That's something. But he did also score a baby no prisoners on turn 1, which usually I don't let my opponents do. So it was kind of scary. He almost got 2 of them with that Impulsor as well. So we're actually ahead right now, because extend battle lines is for 5, and cleanse and no prisoners on small versions are not that good. Yeah, so I roll no prisoners and storm hostile objective myself, which storm hostile is like impossible, right? So here, we can talk about it. Gosh, what a shock, guys. I never lose a Predator that early in a game. That just doesn't happen. People have bigger priorities, bigger targets. And this one I knew I was putting in a little bit of danger, but I didn't think it was going to be much. I didn't think he was going to have much that could shoot at me. And he's a resourceful guy. He knows his stuff, and was able to get enough shots to just kill the stupid thing. Really disappointing to lose that thing right away, especially because he's got a ton. He's got 3 squads of 10 that have they have tough 6 and 3 wounds each, which those Predators are like custom built to taking those things out, and me losing that right away is a huge pain. So first we need to avoid tilting and just like, oh my gosh, what happened? I didn't foresee this. Like, we still have a lot of army left, right? And he's put a few of his squads in, I mean, he's done a good job of mostly hiding his squads, but we do have some line of sight to his stuff, and we also have scouts who are just on that objective already, so we're gonna score on primary, more primary than him probably. So the idea is just to keep him in his own corner here and just keep scoring the center objective, or if he gets onto the center objective, be able to take him off of it as quickly as possible. So just trying to contain them as much as we can is, yeah, that's probably good. Okay, so we're here. No prisoners and storm hostile. Storm hostile isn't available, folks. The only one we could possibly get will be this one or his home objective, and we're not in range for those. So that one's just going to be more CP for us, I suppose. So one way or another, we've got. I mean, the plan here, of course, is to just kill the squad that's up here. Kill the squad as much, like tie this squad up actually. So we've got our incursors here, right? And they're full health. They've got their haywire mind. The idea here is we move them out, and then we charge this squad. And as long as we live against this squad, they're not able to fall back, shoot, charge, and we hold them in place for 1 turn. And that's the only goal. We just want this team to stop being able to operate or function for a turn. Just 1 turn, buy us a turn, maybe do a little damage. And likewise, you'll see we're also going to try to block this squad and this squad out, and then of course try to kill the squad that we're trying to block out. But one of them, we can't do any damage to this one. Those are the 3 big targets that I kind of identified. Was the Gravis units, the Invictus, I believe, is what they're called. And so, here, let me go look and see what those are called. Hold on. Let me look. Indomitor squads. Yeah, okay. So, he's got the Indomitor squads here. We got to kill those, because those are the ones that pack the biggest punch. They have power fists. They have AP crazy weapons. They have really long range weapons. They do 2 damage on their bolters, 3 with their heavy bolters. It is pure madness. We need to take care of them. So, okay, up top you can see I have arrows pointing at that Indomitor squad, just to show like it's kind of spread out, and those guys are on the top roof. I guess you guys knew that from the last round. So in reserves we get a Ballistus Dreadnought down here, a Ballistus Dreadnought here, the Storm Speeder here. This Ballistus did poke his head out. We left the jump pack intercessors to do something else, and I mean, we're just trying to keep him from being able to get into our middle, basically. So with that in mind, we've got our scouts here. Oh, before we talk about the scouts, he does have his Terminators, which he rapid ingressed for free on this on his deployment or teleport homer here. So we'll have to deal with that as well. And then we also, I think, let's see, we have an arrow. Yeah, here it is. The scouts moved up, and they just advanced up so that they could block these teams from being able to get into the middle. So, the scouts, they're just sacrifices, and they stayed an inch off the wall so that my opponent couldn't just charge them through the wall and kill them that way. They'd have to come out and then charge them here. I think one mistake I made, you can see this scout is just hanging out, balls just flapping right in the wind, and he does have one of his kill teams here that could have just gunned down the whole squad. I think the scout could have been a little better behind the wall, I think, but one way or another, the scouts are just trying to block. That's all. Yeah, okay, so remember our plan for our incursors to come out and charge these guys, tie them up. So what happened was that I did come out. He got a small overwatch on them, and those actually didn't kill me at all. Like, he just kind of whiffed, which is great because I needed him to whiff. And then I charged in. His power fists kill 2 guys, which is not unexpected. Kills 2 of them, and then because they're weaker when you charge them, though the power fists aren't. So when they do the charging, they have a ton of boosts and stuff. But I'm able to do a few wounds here and there, both via shooting and there's a haywire mine from the incursors. And so I charge in. I've 5 guys left. Power fists kill 2, 3 left. He does 10 wounds with his other guys, which was actually a very impressive roll from him. He rolled very well this game, like supernaturally well. It was very impressive. But so he does 10 wounds, and I'm like, okay, as long as 1 guy survives on 1 wound, I'm good. Like, I just have to pass 5 of my saves, just half of my saves, and I'm good to go. Roll 6 fails out of 10, just on my 3-up armor, because I used Armor of Contempt on them. And so I have a CP left, and I can reroll, and I need to, right? I need to tie these guys up so that they can't go and wreak havoc. So I rolled again. It's a 1, and the whole squad dies basically for free. They killed like 1 guy. My shooting from somewhere else where I was able to kill the other ones. But now he can just do whatever he wants, and those incursors aren't there to mess with him at all, which I think is a good plan. It just didn't work out. It was just horrendous rolling. 7 out of 11 failed 3-ups is gonna do it to you. So, especially following his miraculous rolls as well. So, very disappointing result there, I have to admit, but I suppose the show must go on, right? So, here's what it looked like going into the next round. He gets Bring It Down and Recover Assets. Bring It Down is pretty good against my tanks, honestly. I have a ton of tanks. Recover Assets is also, it's decent. He can score it, at least. His squads are big enough that I can't really do much. So, I should point out here, folks, I did manage through shooting. I did manage, I guess we could do it from here, to shoot and kill there's 7 out of his 10 up here. So we killed 7 there, we killed 4 over here, like 11 total Gravis, which is not really enough. He was pretty clever with his wound allocation and was able to keep 3 guys alive in that squad. And so yeah, we're kind of just flapping in the breeze here, folks. These guys killing the Intercessors was really painful. So anyways, he charges in and does some things. So the first thing that he does, he kills 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts with his shooting, just from scratch, just without much effort at all. Just goodbye and goodbye. Not great. Not a great start, folks. I couldn't believe he killed 2. I very rarely have lost 2, especially to just random infantry shooting. But I mean, this is pretty standard stuff at this point. So on the bottom here, his guys blew up the Ballistus, and then were able to charge in, and they didn't quite kill all of the Infernus. I think the Infernus actually, they kind of bounced off of them. The Infernus were okay, and that was great. That felt good. And then up top, you can see the Terminators were able to get the charge off on the Dreadnought. They only did 4 wounds to the Dreadnought, though, despite having some anti-tank weapons. On a 4+ or something, he couldn't quite do it. I did an Overwatch with the Storm Speeder, and it missed every time. Every single shot, it missed, even though these guys are my Oh the Moment targets. Or were they? These guys weren't the Oh the Moment targets. Never mind. Maybe I didn't Overwatch here. I don't remember. Maybe it was the Ballistus. Yeah, I think he Overwatched. Didn't get any hits. It's fine. It happens. So we're stuck in there. You can see the remainders of his 3 men, that 3 guys that survived from his bigger squad previously. And then the one thing that I did do here, folks, is I rapid ingressed with the jump intercessors, and that wasn't so that we could get our a heroic intervention on these guys or anything. The idea was, well, you guys will see what the idea was, but they're here. They're in the middle of the action right before they charged and killed everything. You can see the scouts are gone as well. They're dead. But his units are all kind of out in the open now. So maybe we can make some kind of change. And that's it. The arrow pointing at something is not actually supposed to be there. It's pointing at literally nothing. And I mean, things look kind of bad, but we haven't been overrun yet. Things would be a lot better if we could have just stalled those guys out here, folks, in the bottom. So, anyways, going into the next turn, we just got to do the same thing, right? I mean, that's the idea. So, he did end up taking the lead here, 15-13, because he was able to score 4 and bring it down, and 3 on recover assets. Though I did score more on primary, which is kind of keeping us in it, because I didn't score anything during his turn. No prisoners I decided to keep, though, and I threw away Storm Hostile. Ooh, repeat after me. Things aren't on fire. Gosh. I mean, they kind of are. They're a little on fire. He was able to get in a lot of charges, and the good news is we've kept him from overrunning the center, even though he did manage to get in with the squad on the bottom there into the Infernus Marines. The Infernus Marines did stop him, and we have an opportunity now. We got to do a lot this turn. It is super important that we do a lot this turn, but we can do it. We have an opening. We do have an opening, and we've got to take it or lose it forever. And this is our go turn, folks. This is our time to shine. Let's go. So here we are. I kept no prisoners, and I rolled assassination, which, man, I just keep rolling bad ones. I don't know what to say or do. I should apologize to my viewers, is what I should do. I did score some primary this time, because we're guarding an objective or 2. I think that was it. Regarding this one, we're playing the Burden of Trust thing. So we've got a Guardian here, and we've got the Intercessors guarding this one. So that's worth 2 each. So we got 4, and then this objective is worth 4 on its own just for holding it. So we get 8. Not too bad, I suppose. And the idea here, folks, is the Jump Intercessors have a very special mission. So we're going to go into Assault Doctrine. The Jump Intercessors are going to go all the way over here. And they're going to tie up this squad. I don't care if they kill even one of them. We don't want them popping out, because what's going to happen is Adrax and company are going to get out. They're going to get out right here. And they're going to charge these fellows. We're going to get out here so they can't overwatch us. Charge them. And what we don't want is for Adrax and company to come out and kill these guys. These guys to pop out and shoot Adrax and company. Instead, we're going to have Jump Intercessors jump over here so they can't be overwatched. Which they actually did get a little overwatched by this squad here. But they're going to jump right here and charge and just hold this squad in place. That's the whole goal. Hold them in place. And then we have a bunch of shooting that can probably kill the rest of the squad. There's not that many of them left. Did I kill a few of them in melee? I don't even know. I think they were mostly intact, but we need to kill this squad. We need to kill this squad. We do still have no prisoners, so if we can get a couple kills, that would be fantastic. And then Blade Guard are going to march in and do the best job that they can, saving 1 CP for their lance so that they're wounding on 4s with rerolls to wound. Seems pretty decent into these guys. And then I think I put Tactical Doctrine on the Dreadnought. I believe that's what I did. Maybe what I put Assault Doctrine. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just did Tactical, and Assaults I didn't need. So one way or another, the Dreadnought fell back, and between him and the Speeder shooting, which I put the moment on the Terminators this time, I caused an enormous number of wounds, and he just saved all of them, basically. I think I killed like 1 Terminator, maybe 2, and I think if the dice were average, I would have killed 4, is what I think would have happened. So, because we had the Intercessors come out and shoot him as well, and just total fiasco there, as usual. Here, I think we have some zoom-ins here, actually. Yeah, so here we go. Here's what it looked like when the turn was done, and we'll zoom in on a couple places. So first off, just want to say my opponent was a man of culture, and he likes Baja Blast, and so do I. It's delicious. Okay, so on the bottom here, we were able to use Vulkan's thing that lets you reroll wounds with torrent weapons on this squad. So between the Infernus here, oh yeah, we did fall back. We used Devastator Doctrine here, fell back with the smaller Infernus squad so that they could shoot. This squad came in from strategic reserves so that they could shoot. Vulkan could shoot, and between all of them, all the Burnination, all of the stuff, these guys finally died. The Gravis Marines died, so that was happy. Yay! I mean, they died in fire, which is probably a horrific death, but we're protecting that zone. The Jump Pack Intercessors did charge in, and once again, bad dice reared its ugly head. I only managed to kill like 1 guy, maybe 2. It was pretty bad. Then they rolled and it managed to kill like 6 of our guys, I believe. I think they only had 1 Power Fist in the whole squad, but all the other attacks that they had, which weren't even AP1 or anything, I just failed a ton of saves on the squad. But I did tie them up, which was our main objective. Remember how I said if I killed 0 of them? I was lying in the sense that I wanted to kill more of them than that, and I think I should have. I mean, even just the impact mortals themselves should have done 2.5 Marines worth of deaths, but I just did no damage. And the Power Fist whiffed. It was quite tragic. And then up top here, you can just see they're still swarmed. Just looks. I mean, my opponent was not too happy with his Phobos squad. They just didn't do that much this game. And then of course he's got the unit with all the plasma guns and stuff that are waiting in the wings. I've mostly been able to deny them targets, though that'll change next turn. And then yeah, so I killed 3 Terminators between the Ballistas, Dreadnought, the Land Speeder Storm, and Storm Speeder Hammer Strike. I don't know what it's called, guys. Obviously. And the Intercessors were able to kill a couple of these Terminators, and the Blade Guard charged in, rolled a little below average. He rolled a little above average and was left with 1 guy left, maybe 2 guys left actually. So, but still, we retook this objective, and things are looking okay. Things are looking all right. Just have to weather these Terminators 1 more turn if we can. And our back objective is just good. We're just good to go here. And the center objective is looking okay because he doesn't have anything that can threaten the Blade Guard, really. Like, I guess the Terminators could if they wanted to, but there's only 3 of them. And frankly, I think the Adrax Squad with Blade Guard can take them anyways, even if they did want to threaten them. And so there's nothing that can threaten them off of the board. This is a good board state for us, at least. Our opponent gets Defense Stronghold and Secure No Man's Land, so he wants to hold objectives. And so what he ends up doing, he doesn't really have a way to do anything to the Blade Guard at all. Like, he's just totally out of position for that. He just wants his Terminators to keep prosecuting his attacks, his advances to my home objective. And you can see this little Inquisitor here. He's like 55 points. He ends up basically killing the whole Jump Pack squad on his own. Very impressive. So yeah, he's able to, of course, get his charge in. My Storm Speeder did Overwatch this time. I think that was the first time it Overwatched, but it re-rolled to hit against him, and I managed to do 5 wounds to this squad, which is great. That's pretty cool. He saved all 5, so they're all good to go. I think my kicking with the Dreadnought ended up killing one of them, so that was also cool. Do I have another picture? No. So yeah, his Inquisitor comes up, shoots and kills what, 2 of these jump intercessors, charges in, kills a 3rd, and the Power Fist finally kills it back. These guys all just fell back though, which is great. He got rid of his Inquisitor on my turn, which means I could do something with this guy. And these guys are gonna just, well, if they walk out and try to threaten this objective, I can come over here and sit on his objective and de-sticky it, perhaps, just forcing that squad into not doing anything. So that's pretty good. The Blade Guard, of course, ended up killing the last couple of the Gravis Marines. So we've killed all 3 of those squads. The Terminators should be dead pretty soon. And then at that point, we decided to call it. Yeah, so I got Defense Stronghold and Secure No Man's Land as well. And so at the end, we did roll to see what our missions were, but it didn't really matter. I mean, and at the end of the day, I was holding the center. He wasn't going to be able to do anything, right? So, like what he did on his turn, I guess the other part was he got his Phobos squad here to just kind of wrap this building so I couldn't charge into it that easily. I'd have to charge like on a flank or something like that, which is fine if I wanted to do that. The Blade Guard, if I rolled a good enough advance, could have actually gone here and taken his home, though that wouldn't have done anything. His Phobos are just not going to do that much either. Probably that's where the Blade Guard would have gone. I think that would have pretty easily killed the entire squad. And so we'd have one squad left, plus whatever Terminators are left. We'd have to have the Ballistas go into tactical and fall back again. And then, I mean, in theory, we should be able to kill those stupid guys eventually, right? We're in a pretty good board state, and that was basically it, folks. Ended up winning. I mean, he conceded it anyways. He was like, yeah, you're definitely gonna win, because that center objective is just pretty strong and probably wasn't gonna shift, especially because I could hold it from the back line and everything. So ended up with a win, I guess. Nothing too crazy. And, well, folks, this is why we play practice games. He kept rolling crazy well, I kept rolling pretty poorly, and I didn't know anything about what he did, and he didn't realize that his Phobos squad was going to be a worthless sack of crap the whole game, so we both learned quite a bit, I think. Yeah, dice were really rough this game, but this is also why you practice, and, like, board control makes up for a lot. Our incursors not being able to survive was really bad, but we did manage to make the best of it anyways. Wipe the squad the next turn, even as they did kill the Ballistas and everything. I did think my positioning was pretty good this game, and I think that was the only way I was able to get any semblance of a win, because really just like the dice weren't on my side, but board position was, right? Like I was able to put guys in strategic places that they could be. I mean, there was a blunder to put the Predator where it was, though I might do it again, honestly, possibly, just because it did push his deep strikes out quite a bit. I'd have to rethink about that, but one way or another, I mean, that's nice to know what his army's capable of, though, right? So far, I think I like this list a lot. I don't know if it's going to be that good. My margin of victory keeps being pretty high, which is an indication that it can potentially go better at a tournament than other lists, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. The new data slate might mess with it a little bit. Maybe it'll buff me a little bit. Maybe we'll get more buffs for Vulkan. Who knows? But I'm gonna try it, folks. We're gonna use this at an RTT coming up. We'll do probably one more practice game, and then we'll play it. So far, this list has been undefeated, and I've won by what, like 16 or more every time. You know, I mean, this one is kind of a weird, like, would we really have scored this much? I don't really know. Probably not. But I think we would have gotten the win. So, in terms of news, I know that you guys are sick of my proxies. So we've got this in Impulsor. Done. It is done. Go check out Frog and Bear Studio, folks, in the video description. It's linked. Go get a vehicle painted today. But this Impulsor is done. The Storm Speeder will be done by the time the RTT rolls around at the end of the week, also known as the weekend. And then I've got a couple of Vindicators also on their way to be finished. So maybe we'll use a Vindicator for the Rocky Mountain Open. Who knows? Speaking of Rocky Mountain Open, here are the next 3 events. You can see my face is blocking. There's a Fight Club team tournament at the end of May. That should be fun, guys. I'll be playing Imperial Knights, I believe, which I will probably start doing some battle reports using Imperial Knights here pretty soon. But one way or another, we got here, we got it done. It's over. It's not over. It's just beginning. So I'm gonna call it here, folks. Follow me on to the Fight Club RTT. You can watch my results as they come in real time, and I think that's it, folks. I'm calling it. So guys, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that if you didn't hear it from me, it's probably heresy. Take care, folks.